Hi, good afternoon. Let's do a beginner class. Let's play with pelvic mobility and stability. So play with pelvic tilts to some leg lifts, and for the neck, let's add some chin tucks. So let's lie down on the mat, face up, and heels in line with the sit bones, knees in line with the shoulders, heels, ball of the feet and toes anchored down. And create some space in the low back. Create a natural curve for your low back, because naturally your spine has curves when you are standing or when you are sitting. And so that's, in my opinion, it's important to honor when we are training. Upper body is stable, ribs are down, chest is open, nose is pointing up. Your arms can be either by your side or on the two bones in front of your hips, which is the ASIS. And so the movement is that we are tilting the pelvis back and forward. And then the movement only happens in the hip, so upper body is stable, legs are stable, only the pelvis is moving. So from a natural curve, we're coming into a posterior tilt, bringing our pubic bone closer to our nose and bringing our spine onto the mat. A posterior tilt, hold this, take a deep breath here, and then exhale and come back into a neutral alignment. So some space under the low back. And from here, take a deep breath in, long exhale, and bring the pubic bone closer to the floor, curling the pelvis forward and creating a bigger space in the under the low back, coming into an anterior tilt or a big mouse house. Take a deep breath there and long exhale. From here, let's go back into a neutral alignment. And same thing, some space under the low back and deep breath in and long exhale. From here, let's go into a posterior tilt. So squish your low back into the mat, hold that, and take a deep breath in. Followed by a long exhale. From here, curl back into neutral alignment. So again, some space under the low back. Upper body is still stable, legs are still not moving. Only the pelvis is curling forward and back. Deep breath in. And long exhale. And from here, let's go into the mouse house, anterior tilt. Pubic bone goes towards the mat. A larger space under the low back is created. Deep breath in. And long exhale. Now let's go back into a neutral tilt. Move around if you have to. And let's do the same in wide knees. So bring your heels on the sides of the mat. Anchor your heels, anchor the ball of the feet and toes down. Knees pointing out. Sit bones are down evenly. Upper body is still stable. Chest is still open. Head is in neutral alignment. Nose is pointing to the ceiling. And same thing. Let's do a posterior tilt. So coming from a neutral tilt into a posterior tilt, squishing an imaginary blueberry under the low back. Hold this, take a deep breath in, and long exhale. From here, let's go back into a neutral alignment. Curl the pelvis forward a little bit. Create some space under the low back. Deep breath in. And long exhale. From here, let's tilt the pelvis more forward. Bring the pubic bone closer to the mat. Create more space under the low back. I feel a lot more stretch in my low back with curling the pelvis forward. Take a deep breath there. And long exhale. Let's go back again to neutral alignment. So some space under the low back. Deep breath in. And long exhale. Posterior tilt, squish the blueberry. Print your low back into the mat. Hold that, deep breath in. And long exhale. Let's go back to neutral alignment. Some space under the low back. Movement only happens from the pelvis. Upper body is still stable. Legs are still stable. Deep breath in. And long exhale. Curl the pelvis forward. Bring the pubic bone closer to the mat. Create a larger space under the low back. Feel the stretch in your low back. Deep breath in. And long exhale. Come back into neutral alignment. And keep the heels and the feet as is, but close your knees, bring your knees together. So with this, the pelvic tilt will feel a lot different. With this, I feel more stretch in my inner thighs. So from a neutral alignment, let's go into an anterior this time. Some space under the low back. Bring the pubic bone closer to the mat. Create a bigger space under the low back. Feel also the stretches in my low back slightly differently. Deep breath in. And long exhale. From here, let's go back to neutral alignment. Hold this, some space under the low back. Deep breath in. And long exhale. From here, pubic bone comes closer to the nose. Spine squishes into the mat. Low back touches the mat. Hold this. Deep breath in. And long exhale. Come back into neutral alignment. Some space under the low back. Deep breath in. And long exhale. Let's tilt the pelvis forward. Pubic bone goes closer to the mat. A larger space in the low back is created. Deep breath in. and long exhale. Let's do one more. Neutral tilt, some space under the low back. Knees are together. Deep breath in and long exhale. Posterior tilt, pubic bone closer to the nose. Low back touches the mat. Deep breath in and long exhale. Back to neutral, some space under the low back. Deep breath in and long exhale. And the fourth variation, feet together. So toes together, ball of the feet together, heels together. And same thing, we're going to tilt the pelvis forward and back. Create some space under the low back, upper body stable, knees are as open as they can be. And let's go into a posterior tilt first. So coming from neutral to bringing the low back touching the mat. Pubic bone come closer to the nose. And with this, I feel a lot of stretch in my hip joint. Especially, I had a right hip injury, so my right side is always feels still tighter. Deep breath in, hold this. Long exhale. Come back into a neutral alignment, some space under the low back. Deep breath in. And long exhale. And from here, let's go into a big mouse house. Pubic bone goes closer to the floor. Big anterior tilt. Deep breath in. And long exhale. I used to struggle with this variation of the pelvic tilts for months, till eventually it got easier and easier. Deep breath in. Long exhale. Back to neutral. Some space under the low back. Deep breath in. Long exhale. Posterior tilt, low back touches the mat. Deep breath in. And long exhale. Back to neutral. Deep breath in. And long exhale. Okay, let's bring the legs back on the mat. We can also do a double knee stretch. Pull the knee into the chest. Deep breath in. And long exhale. Next, let's do some chin tucks. So knees in line with the shoulders and hips. Heels in line with the sit bones. Heels, ball of the feet, toes pressed into the mat. Chest is open. hands on ASIS or by your side. And let's bring our nose closer to our sternum or breastbone without lifting the head. So slide your nose down. Chest stays open. Don't let your shoulders roll forward. And then come back up. And then slide your nose back down again without lifting the head and having your shoulders roll forward. And come back up. Exhale as you slide your nose down. And inhale as you come back up. One more. Exhale. And inhale. Okay, let's do some leg lifts from neutral. So sit bones are down evenly on the mat. Keep your left heel, left ball of the foot, left toes down. Don't let your pelvis rock side to side. Some space under the low back, chest is open, ribs are down. And bring your right knee into the chest without rolling your back into the mat. So create a space under the low back and keep that space. The leg comes up and the leg goes back down. Let's do 4 on each side. Don't let the pelvis rock and don't let the pelvis curl. Lift the leg, pull it into your chest, and then bring it back down on the mat. And 3, also don't let so the movement happening from the thigh bone, the femur, don't let your lower leg do the work. Try to keep the same angle with the lower leg and the upper leg. And 4. Bring it back down. Left side. Right heel, right ball of the foot, right toe anchors. Right butt is anchored. Upper body stable. Space under the low back. You can also keep your hand under so you can actually feel if you are moving your pelvis. Lift your left leg, bring it into your chest without a change in your pelvis or low back, and bring it back down. And 2. And 3. Inhale. And exhale as you bring it down. And 4. Let's do both legs. Space under the low back. Keep your hands under the low back so you feel if your pelvis is moving. Same thing. Upper body stable, spine is stable. Lift both legs up and bring them back on the mat. Inhale, lift the legs. And exhale, bring it back down. And 3. Bring it back down. And 4, last one. The stakes are higher for the core to stabilize the pelvis. Okay, hug the knees into the chest. deep breath in. Long exhale. And last one, let's add the arms. So sit bones are down evenly. Some space under the low back. Spine is stable, pelvis is stable. Arms are pointing towards the feet. Nose is pointing to the ceiling. Lift the legs, keep the space under the low back. Let's bring the left leg down and the right arm back. No change in the pelvis, no change in the spine. And bring it back up. Right side, right leg and left arm back. No change in the spine. Bring it back up. Left side. Bring it back up. Inhale, right side. Bring it back up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do two more. Inhale. Exhale. No change in the spine. No change in the pelvis. The arms and leg moving. Exhale. Hug the knees into the chest. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Deep inhale. And long exhale. Now let's make your way up on the mat. I hope this was useful. I hope you're getting more mobile, you're getting stronger, you're getting more flexible, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.